I started kindergarten with kindergarten experience, so I didn't have any background in kindergarten already, so it was very easy for me to just kind of jump in and kind of do what they had already were teaching me. So I started right away trying to develop my classroom areas into the different areas for social dramatic play, and we did a math area, an ELA area, and a writing spot, the art area. We even have a tinkering area. So I started that right away. So my teammates, it was a little harder for them. Having been in kindergarten before, it was a little harder for them to adjust their classrooms and adjust their teaching styles. But they've done it and are loving the experience as well. Then this year we actually had the team come in and actually flip our classrooms. And so they actually did a great job with layout. The year I did it, there was a lot of flow problems, a lot of places that were kind of, they didn't really flow together, and the kids' movement was a little harder. This year the flow is much better. The kids are able to just kind of flow in and out of areas. The layout is fantastic.
A few years ago, my kindergarten teachers came to me with an idea after they had attended a few kindergarten experience PDs to learn a little bit more about how students develop at the age of 5. And after that, I gave them my wholehearted approval to go ahead and let's try some of these things. And we really began by looking at the classroom setup and ordered them some classroom furniture that was a little bit more realistic, real life, and definitely blocks, and kind of let them loose to design their classroom as they had learned in their professional developments. With that just came an overwhelming response of parents and kids just loving the way kindergarten was. It was more about learning to get along, learning those social emotional things. When you get frustrated, what do you do? How to work together. And it wasn't just sitting in a desk and expecting to learn things and not have any movement. So it was hard to get some of our instructional coaches in the district, of course, on board because they didn't quite understand the method or the process. But now, after seeing the results that we have, we've gone from having kindergarten referrals for office because they can't sit for 45 minutes crisscross applesauce or pay attention, and they get distracted very easily. Having them up here to the office to talk to myself and my assistant, to very, very rarely do I see a kindergartner here in the office unless it's for a positive. Because when you walk in that classroom, it's active engagement the entire time. Teachers are working with small groups of kids. There's some student choice, but kids also have designated activities or centers that they have to attend to. They are based on a strategy or a standard that they are to learn. But the funny thing is that the kids become the teachers of themselves. They're engaged in activities, they're teaching one another, they're working together.
I know the biggest question with kindergarten experience is that you walk into a classroom and you see that they're playing all day and it looks like play, but when you really get in and you sit down and you talk with the kids and you see what they're doing, it's amazing to see how much work is actually going on and their thought process through all of it. Butterflies. And then as I went walking, I saw 2 more butterflies. Right on your board, how many butterflies did I see? Don't tell me. How many butterflies did I see? I'm a big data person, and I like to see my data to be really high, and I like to see that, I like to be above the district average, and I like to have, and so I think that's where some of my stress was last year. And then this year, just kind of taking that step back and saying, you know what, this is about my students. I'm just going to let them go, and seeing that my kids are actually, almost into the year ready now for first grade. The data, we're on task where we need to be. We're either on district average or we're above it. There's no areas where we're below. And so I think that says a lot. We're one of the only schools in our district that is doing the kindergarten experience. Also, are kids going to first grade? I think that's another big question. What about when they go to first grade and they have to sit at desks all day long? Our first grade team is actually very impressed with this group that they got this year. The fact that they are so independent. Their writing skills, they say, are better than they've ever seen. And that's just because we write all day long. Everything we do has some kind of writing aspect with it. They say the kids are able to figure things out. You know, the problem solving skills are there. The language, a lot of our kids tested out of the ELL up to proficient. Definitely impact on my children is the fact that they're independent. They are, they're kind of a team, a community. They work together on things. Students that don't necessarily play together outside will have no problem helping someone else in the classroom. If something happens, a lot of times, you know, at the beginning of the year, they're always like, oh, Miss Bateman, I need your help, I need your help. And now I'm kind of like left out of everything, where they're like, they figure things out on their own, and I kind of miss the whole process because I don't even know that there was a problem, because, you know, someone else will kind of come over and just help them figure it out. And I'm just kind of like, okay. So my job is no longer like this person who's like in charge of everything, but instead I'm just someone that, if there's like an emergency, or if, you know, I'm going to introduce something new or a new topic, you know, that's my job. But then they kind of all help each other, and I always find that there's someone who knows the topic really well and kind of becomes like the guru that knows what to do. And so they all kind of, I don't have to tell them, oh, go see that person. They just know, oh, I'm just going to go get help from them. So that's really cool to see their confidence and seeing the kids. Everybody has something they're good at, and everybody knows that.